2 seconds here. Let me get everything. Y'all know the routine. Give me a second. Just give me a second, y'all. I'm just sharing this, getting this out to everybody. Y'all know the routine. So if it's your first time, take care, everybody. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. Like I said, I want to make sure we get this. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Because word up, y'all don't stop denying me my likes. Give me a. All right, we'll just do this one more time. One more again. To one more plus. All right. And as we get them in here, we get them in here. So there's a whole bunch happening in the West Coast. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Before I get us flagged. There's a whole bunch happening in the West Coast right now. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The only interest I got into it on one part is because some of it got to do with New Jersey. I'm gonna let other people talk about that as far as Big U is concerned and Whack 100 is concerned, because that ain't none of my business. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm one of them different type of vloggers. I don't live on the West Coast, so I don't talk about West Coast business. But there's a lot going on in the West, in that degree of what's going on with them, because we got some snitching allegations. I heard some audio playing earlier. Niggas just talking about, yeah, it's two people snitching. I don't want to say too much. I won't say too much, you know what I mean? But I heard a whole bunch being put out there about what's going on with Big U and Whack 100. I even heard of some people pointing their fingers saying who it could possibly be. Some people trying to say it's Adam 22, but that don't make sense. It's Adam 22 is his man's his business partners. And some other people are saying there's some ops they had, and they got some videos and some, everything else that Big U done said, and phone calls that Whack done made, and I don't know, man, but they under an indictment, and they under, they came and snatched up at them. They come to snatch them up. And so, whatever the charges are, which we'll find out here shortly, I heard that they looking for Big U, and I heard they looking for Whack 100 both. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping this. I don't know. Only thing I do know is word as out that these guys, hey, how you doing? These guys are being sought after right now, Big U and Whack 100. Now, the only interest I would have in the conversation is these are some of the same guys that have sat around and talked about how the feds is coming for Puff and what might happen to Puff and things of that nature. So I had to tag in. I said, well, ain't that ironic? You know what I'm saying? Ain't that ironic? Don't you find that suspicious? You know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm talking about. We're talking about Whack 100 and Big U right now. I'm just giving a quick little synopsis on what I think on it. There was an indictment put out, evidently, and a warrant was issued, and they are looking for Big U and Whack 100 right now, as far as I know, or looking to talk to them, as far as I know, or there's some type of indictment going on, whatever. I haven't dug all the way into it. I don't think it's really my business like that, because this is West Coast business. I live on the East Coast. Obviously, you can hear it in my voice. So I'm one of them different type of bloggers, because I know code and I've been in the game before. So I know, like, you don't talk about certain things. And this is why I didn't talk about Lil Durk. People ask me, why you ain't speak about the Lil Durk thing or whatever. It's the same thing with this Big U and Whack 100 thing. I don't want to speak about it too much in depth, except for what I heard on the surface, because if I get into details about it, then it's like, okay, you got to be over there from wherever. You know what I'm saying? So for me, most of the time when it's situations like this, I don't get involved in them, because it's none of my business. And that can lead to other things or whatever. The only reason I am saying something, though, is because this New Jersey is mentioned. Hey, what's going on, A-Love? New Jersey is mentioned in this indictment, or whatever you want to call it. And I mean, in all sorts of purposes, just for out of respect, I mean, it's a similar same thing, They looking for you. And these are some of the same people, Wack has said his pieces before, and Big U said his pieces before, and I gotta be fair, that this is gonna happen to Puff going down. Y'all all know the chatter. And I just say I find it ironic that these guys are going down now at what they're inflicting as a gang indictment. I ain't heard about no real tight gang indictments really like that for a minute, until one thing happened this recently in motherfucking the Bronx. Anybody know what happened in the Bronx in here? I don't want to say it, but anybody know who was in the Bronx? Anybody know who was in the Bronx in here? Yeah, today. You know what I'm saying? And so anybody know what happened in the Bronx? Because there was a raid out there too, and the raid was targeted to a certain group too. You understand what I'm saying? And that certain group was tied to New Jersey. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you know what I mean? It seemed kind of weird to me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they looking for Big U. They looking for Whack 100 from what I heard. And you know, I whatever happened. You heard too, right? Look at this snitch ass nigga in here. Are you in a gang? Are you in a gang? Watch that nigga. That nigga with the feds. No, homie, I ain't in no gangs. I don't need no gangs. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no gang to be in. It's a lot going on. Three fingers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. It look kind of weird to me. That's what I'm saying. It's some weird shit going on out here. Now, speaking of the West Coast, though, I ain't gonna speak no more on that until I get some details. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about it in the end. But I just want to say to everybody once again, I ain't put it in the title. But there's a couple of vloggers that are talking about this right now. I sat with one vlogger and listened to him for about an hour, and I was just like, I got pieces, but when he got towards, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes into his live, it got a little bit better because I was able to, hear some things that actually people were saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I stay out the way with situations like that. I only really hold it down for the East Coast. Like, it don't even matter what the East Coast is. Now, I got people in the West Coast. Everybody know that. I done visited the West Coast numerous times. I got friends in the West Coast. My sister lived in the West Coast. She love it out there. She loved the desert and all that shit. And I mean that. She lived out by the desert. You know what I'm saying? One time me and her did a video share together. And she was literally taking me on a hike, and she was going through all these rocks and shit. She athletic, so she had the shit like that. She was climbing over rocks and shit. And then in the background, I swear to God to you, there was a fucking fire burning. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be out there for that. And then the earthquakes and all that, and then the women out there, I don't like that. It ain't for me. But I like the West Coast as a place. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk to y'all about this. Now, a lot of people going to misconstrue this, but I like to say that I'm one of the first with it. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me if you would. Also, make sure you share this. I want to talk about Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg. They faces a lawsuit of $107 million in the fraud conspiracy against Death Row co-founder. Hip-hop icon Snoop Dogg and Suge Knight conspired to swindle her, now this is a woman, out of $107 million judgment involving Death Row Records. Lydia Harris claims in a new suit. The lawsuit filed on March 18, 2025, and this was yesterday, accuses Harris' former associates of engaging in a complex scheme to obstruct her efforts to collect on a judgment awarded to her and her husband, Michael Harry O. Harris, nearly 2 decades ago. Harris claims that she is the co-founder and original vice president of the iconic record label. According to the filing, the defendants include Nike, Snoop Dogg, Death Row Records, Interscope Records, and music executive Jimmy Levine, deliberately concealed financial information and submitted fraudulent legal motions to evade their financial obligations. The original $107 million judgment stems from a default victory secured by Harris in the Los Angeles Superior Court in March 2005. At the time, she argued that her and her husband invested $1.5 million into launching Death Row Records in 1989, but would later deny their rightful 50% of the share of the label's profits. Now, I want to stop right here just for 1 second. You know what I'm saying? There goes some nigga looking in the nigga's mouth. Go find your boyfriend, nigga. Live your life like you should. I want to point something out here, right? And this is this. The latest lawsuit, I wanted to bring this up because I've said this before and people don't believe me when I say it. I'm going to continue reading what I read and I'll pick up right where I picked up, but I want y'all to put home in on this. I've said this before, not even only with this, but what's happening is this Harry O name. I've heard that name come up before. I think Reggie, he know better who that is than I do, right? But anyway, this lady was awarded a lawsuit back in 2005. That's 20 years ago. And now she's trying to cash in on the lawsuit. Rightfully, I guess she could. You know what I'm saying? Spoken it the way it was. And now she's taking them to court. Now, if this is true, and I'm just saying if it's true, it would exemplify something that I said before. Is multiple people, when you talk about these artists getting screwed out of their money and being owed money or whatever. The only name that I ever hear come up all the time is Puff, Suge, Baby, who else? And like two or three other individuals. You'll say, oh, well, he owed money, he owed money. Y'all don't talk about the tears of people behind them that got to pay them in order for them to pay them artists. You understand what I'm saying? And I say this hence because at the top of this list of the suit is Jimmy IV. Let me continue. At the time, she argued that she and her husband invested $1.5 million in the launch of Death Row Records in 1989, but would later deny their rightful 50% share of the label's profits. Harris claims that despite the judgment, she has never received any payment. The latest lawsuit brings renewed attention to the protracted legal battle that began with her suit in 2002. So this actually goes back to 2002, not even 2005. Harris contends that the defendants used systematic misrepresentation and deceptive telecommunications to obstruct her attempts to collect her judgment. She is now seeking punitive damage, a complete account and financial record, a recovery of all assets owed to her. Snoop Dogg is named as a defendant because he acquired Death Row Records from MNRK Music Group in 2002. Harris claims that the fact that he now owns the label makes it even more challenging for her to exert her right to her portion of the placement. The lawsuit threatens to reignite tensions within the hip-hop community as it surfaces amidst ongoing discussions about the legacy and impact of Death Row Records. So they're getting, Snoop basically is getting sued because now he has taken ownership of Death Row. So I hope that, guys, make sure y'all double tap that button. Make sure y'all share this, get this out to people. So Snoop is getting sued for that, and I'm imagining that, all other parties, inclusive of Suge Knight, are now getting sued because, it was original judgment that was never fulfilled. That's tough. That's tough. Suge's in a bad place right now. It's ironic him and Puff are in jail. If you know history of hip hop, it's very ironic. At the same time, two powerhouses of hip hop both locked up, and now one lingering around. Somebody asking for $107 million. And this is the wife of Harry O, who I don't know. I've never met him. I don't have anything negative to say about him because quite frankly, I don't know who he is. I've heard him mentioned, but this is his wife or former wife or still wife. Is the guy still alive? I don't know. But that's unique. Now, some people were chatting this around. They were trying to say, oh, well, and the reason I chose to read this about Snoop Dogg is because some people will bring it up and they'll say, oh, well, you know what? That's from that sexual lawsuit. No, it's not from that. It's not from that. You know what I'm saying? It's not from that. It's not from that. Yeah, so, what we got to do is we've got to start paying attention to where all these lawsuits are coming from. We got to start paying attention to what's going down systematically. I said before, and I'll say it again. I said, well, just wait until they start on the West Coast and the Midwest. They coming for y'all too. You say, you didn't think it was coming for you too? They just going after them New York, right? No, they coming for you too. We seen this shit before. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give a shout out to M$E, M-A-double-sign E. You heard? Holla, what's happening? Cam, what's happening? I want to say shout out to them. Thank you, Mace, for having the goals and the balls to hop online and say, hey, if Puff will let me come see him, I'll come see him. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. Duly noted. Appreciate you saying that. And the words that followed. This is the man responsible for my career. This is the person responsible for all my memories. And Mace remembers something that many of the artists from Bad Boy, and I will say it again, and I'm not going to go on a tyrant on Bad Boy artists, former staff, or current staff, but I will say this. For people that are not in that courtroom, and just like Mace said, and I've said months ago, people are not up in that courtroom, or whatever the case may be, it's a show-tell sign of who you really were. Just like we see a lot of other people, and this is just my personal opinion, just like we see a lot of other people that have reluctantly distanced himself from not only Puff, but from Puff's children's life, from Puff's families, and everything else. And I think it's a travesty because I'm not only saying that as somebody that used to work at the company. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it, and it's got a little bit to do with it, but I'm saying that in the hints of this is someone that you're literally, especially y'all motherfuckers in their 50s and 60s now. This is literally your history. You understand what I'm saying? Literally your history. And as it will be written in time, you will always have your attachment to him. If they reference you as a beat maker, they reference you as an artist, if they reference you as a producer, if they reference you, even your credits that you would show, you would have to, some of y'all gonna have to eliminate damn near your whole entire catalog when you try to go get new work. Because his name is attached to it. You understand what I'm saying? I said this about, what's the dude's name, Lil Rod. I said, where do you think you're going now after you trying to sue him? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what goes on after that? Now, I'm not the godfather of New York, but I know him. How about that, huh? How about that? I hope that satisfies your inquiry. Am I the godfather of New York? What a fucking putz. Anyway, listen, right? My point I'm getting at is here. Your memories are attached to Bad Boy Entertainment. All former staff, all former employees, all former artists. Your memories are attached. So I'm glad that somebody that's attached to Bad Boy Entertainment besides myself is showing an initiative to myself. See, my shit will prove it. I was like, nah, it's going to wait. I need to see what the courtroom say. So I'm glad that Mace, he said what he said. I'm glad that Cam said what he said. Shout out to East Side. You know what it is. I appreciate those words. Look at the Q nappy head. Is that supposed to bother me or something? You ain't even got a real name to be acknowledging. I want to say Cam and Mace, I appreciate that. Be real with yourself, former Bad Boy artist. Be real with yourself, former Bad Boy staff. You was there, nigga. There's pictures of you in there. You understand what I'm saying? You got records with this nigga. You got album credits with Puff and everything else. Where are you going? And for many of y'all live in the same stream that I did. Like a lot of people don't understand. How did I stay around so long? For the longest, Puff kept the same people around him. And if I really truthfully believe if he would have kept on continue to keep the same people around him, he would have been better off. That's the problem. Sometimes you don't get rid of the people that have been around you. Like I grew up in a way where I learned that very early on. But now times have changed and people don't hold that to the same accord as they used to. But for me, personally, I always make sure that I keep the same people around me for many of different reasons. Guys, make sure y'all double tap that like button. I know somebody out there. Make sure y'all share, subscribe to this, hit that like button, double tap that screen 2 times. I'm saying sometimes it takes us a little minute to get everybody in here, but they coming in. Y'all join in. But for myself, I know better enough than to. This is my thing, and this is what I was saying before. When you get a lot, Jalen, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, Steve? This is a problem. When you get a lot of people that have worked with a company for whatever amount of time, right? You are now attached to that company. Yeah, everybody tell me I look like DMX all the time. I appreciate it though. You are now attached to that company, and your longevity, your history, whether it's on paper or whether it's spoken or verbal, is all attached to that. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. And so when that, if he's erased, then you erased too, nigga. Do you not get that? Niggas and niggas. If he's erased, let me run that by you one more time, because maybe y'all ain't thought of it like this. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they high on the throne right now. Don't forget how you got ascended to that throne. Now, I didn't win like many of you did. And to be quite honest, the majority of people at Bad Boy Entertainment wouldn't even take 5 minutes to come over here and throw $10,000 or $5,000 at me if y'all want to know. You know what I'm saying? Because the pure simple fact, it will be linked back to a nigga that quite possibly think that there's a possibility. Well, I'll keep that to myself. But they're not going to do it. I can be honest with you. Now, I talk to people almost every fucking day, if not every fucking week in the music industry on a repetitive basis, not necessarily a bad boy either. And I'm not trying to shame anybody over there. I'm just giving an example. But this is your heresy. And whether you fucking like it or not, sooner or later, as the ball starts chipping away, this trial starts and everything like that, people that know you and been around you and familiarize you with bad boy entertainment, well, they're going to start asking you questions. And they're going to say, well, why aren't you over there at the trial with him or whatever? And I want the boys and girls to pay attention. I'm talking about Puff's kids. Pay attention who are around right now. Listen to me, kids, one more time. Pay attention to who's around right now. I'm going to say to you one more time, to Puff's kids, every last one of them. Pay attention to who's around right now. Because what I heard in that phone call with him and Kanye West, he said, thank you for looking out for my kids. People done turned their back on them. People don't want to talk to them or whatever. People was pointing their fingers at them, accusing them of stuff or whatever. Thank you for looking after my kids. And I don't care if it was on a record that you didn't like. I played the record on here. I'm about to put it up too. Yeah, you heard? But these are kids. Some of you people that are vlogging are 50, 60 years old. Some of you. 50, 55, 60 years old, right? And one thing that Dab and Lewis don't ever do on here as a vlogger is I don't go attacking kids. I never do. You won't find one video on here when I'm talking about somebody's kids. And I'm talking about in the factor of, I'm not going to hop up on here and say, oh, yo, like they do with King Combs or like they do with Christian. Hey, and I heard that they did this, they did that. All right, what they do, it's a law to adjudicate that. Your pitchforks and tiki torches are not needed. You understand what I'm saying? And the power on that's been on these kids, as well as Puff, has been just crazy to me. I'm just like, yo, I can't believe this is happening. Because this is a nigga they used to idolize. And I don't know, just like many of y'all may said the same thing. I don't know if these stories are true or not. Who knows? Who knows? But we will find out. And if that time comes and it finds out that Puff did whatever, then I'll be the one, just like I condemned his tape when he was beating on Cassie. Y'all heard me talking about Cassie, but I condemned that tape. Cassie shouldn't have got beat up, I don't think. I don't know what Cassie did either. Some people don't even know there's another video that exists of Cassie getting beat up, right? There's another, I had to hold that, you got a Sharon Bradley. I don't know you, bitch. Listen, let me tell y'all something about me real quick, right? Don't come in my chat room demanding answers from me, pounding questions at me like we friends, we familiar with each other. I got people in here that know me. You understand what I'm saying? They come here all the time, but all that PowerPoint question asking and I don't know you, you're not going to get nowhere with me like that. I don't think like, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I don't think like you think. You understand what I'm saying? For the majority of it. So like little snippets of insults, things like it don't bother me. You understand what I'm saying? Like my confidence is that high, if you want to say, you know what I'm saying? And I deal with some badass women. So, you know what I mean? Like say what you will. You know what I'm saying? Back to what I was saying about Puff and everybody attached. We need a form of like Voltron, man, to just be, if not even on the outskirts of things, just show your presence there. You understand? Show your presence to say, hey, or reach out to the kids and say, hey, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, because for Puff to say that and be like, yo, people done turned their back on the kids, I was like, damn, you gonna turn your back on the kids too, all over your adoration towards mama? Because that's what it really boiled down to. A lot of people, they got adoration towards mama. You don't know what I mean, do you? A lot of motherfuckers, I tell people this all the time. This is one of the things, and this kind of segue into what I was getting ready to talk about. Then we're going to high end. We're going to talk about a couple other things. I want to point this out. The love for mama. Let me tell you something, ladies. Y'all might have, I come down on your hard sometimes, and I say, oh, well, you know, a lot of your mama was a teen mom, stuff like that. And I know I realized, well, maybe maybe I insulted a couple women like that or whatever. And hopefully you'll teach your daughter better. But I will say this. At the time of 25 years ago, teen pregnancy was somewhere at like 40% of the nation. That means black, white, and Latin. A huge amount of it was girls in poverty, black, white, and Latin. These girls gave a tribute to sons, and before them, many of them, their mamas were single mamas. And their skew was a little bit lower, but it always hovered even 30 years ago at about 50 something percent. All right, today it's 72%. For Latin women, it's something around, I think it's 61% or something like that. So the numbers are there. You can go to CDC and look these numbers up, and you can confirm them for yourself. I might be a percentage point or a percentage point here or there. Point is, a lot of these boys are raised by women. You understand? And I spoke before and I gave a comparison to Tarzan, even though that's a bad comparison for some, but it's the truth. Once you're raised around a whole bunch of women, and like say mama's got a whole bunch of sisters, aunties around all the time, you spend afternoons at grandma's house or whatever, you become very familiar with female attributes. You understand? And so as you grow up, you have an adoration and a camaraderie towards women versus men where you should naturally have. In fact, you're the total opposite. You don't want to have an alliance with men, but you Amada, what's going on, bro? You don't want to have an alliance with men, but you want to have an alliance with women. And so you see a lot of men do that. Now, I'm going to tell y'all about a story that happened to me today that was total opposite from that. And I'm happy it did. And I wasn't going to talk about it first, but fuck it. I went to the store earlier. Just grab me some snacks or whatever. Thank you, Amar. I went to the store today to buy me some snacks and stuff, whatever. Quick story. So I go into the grocery store, whatever. I'm motivating around quick because I know what I'm gonna get. I want some cookies. I want some this. I want that. I had a little handbag. A little roll basket. But first I had a little hand basket. I ended up getting a couple more things. So as I'm walking down this aisle, walking down the frozen food aisle. This big burly woman walks towards me. She's pushing her cart and she keeps going left and then right and then left. Just give me a second. And so she gets past me. I was like, yo, I say under my breath, which I guess she heard me. I said, bitch, are you crazy? And like that was it. You know what I'm saying? This brawly ass woman, because she was tall, she was a big broad. She said, what? So I'm thinking to myself, oh, you work for security or something like that, right? So you're supposed to be scared of you. So I walked up to her and I said, you heard what the fuck I said, bitch? Just like that. I didn't hold nothing back. The fear you saw in this bitch's eyes would last a lifetime. You understand what I'm saying? The fear in that bitch's eyes will last me a lifetime. I got some life force off that shit. So I turn around and I walk off. She starts talking more shit because she see two black dudes. Pay attention. She saw two black dudes. So she started talking more shit because she saw them and tried to grab one of them by the arm that she didn't know this man at all. And she turned around and she said, do you see him trying to attack me? This is what the bitch said, right? Mind you, she don't even realize all this shit is on camera right now. All right. All this shit is on camera. So I'm playing her. You know what I'm saying? She trying to play me, but don't realize she getting played. So she continues on. Now she walks behind the aisle and she's on the next aisle talking shit. So I come over to the next aisle with my basket. I'm like, yo, what you say? She walks off from a basket, starts raising her voice like she gonna do something to me or whatever. She said, what you gonna take? You gonna hit me? I said, sure, they ain't gonna do shit to you as long as you don't put your hands on me. You understand? Now I'm reaching in my pocket now. I got the stun on me. I'm about to make her do the Dougie Fresh. That's how they do it again with that stun gun. It be, oh. That Dougie Fresh. I'm trying to tell you, it never failed. They go, oh. Yes, I will stun a bitch quickly. I'm here to let you know. The chicks out here nowadays are violent as fuck. These chicks were violent when I was younger. They will cut you. They will hit you with a car. They will shoot at you. They will hit you with a stun gun. They will do you dirty. They will put hands on you. If you think these women are the same women that you had 10 or 15, 20 years ago, respectfully to the ladies. Now, I'm not talking about the ladies. I'm talking about the ohs. You understand what I'm saying? The diddy-dots. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the other OnlyFans girls. That's what I'm talking about. You understand? You understand? That's what I'm talking about. Pay attention to what I'm talking about. So if you defend skeezers, bring back like my uncle. I just got off the phone with my uncle a little while ago. He always get me in a good mood. He doing well. You know what I'm saying? If you defend skeezers, you know, the Sukihanas, the Glorellas or whatever, then you in a certain class to me. Because a lady that just graduated from Cornell University, just graduated from Columbia, just graduated from Yale here in my state, just minutes away from where I live, you understand what I'm saying? They would never defend that. They would stay the total opposite of that. Now, back to my story. As I go over to the next style, she started getting louder because she see the black dude or whatever. She's thinking he's Black American. He turns around and starts speaking Spanish to her. Now, I already knew that he was Dominican. You understand what I'm saying? So we started talking in Spanish or whatever. Now she's lost. So now she gets mad at me and him. The store security comes over. He says, "What's going on?" So in front of him, she's still yelling and screaming like she gonna do something. I said, "You're not a man. Stop acting like you're a man." I say this to her face. I said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. You can whoop my ass right now." So I put the stun gun back down my pocket, whatever. I'm like, all right, da. So boom, I literally go down on my knees and put my hands behind my back, and I say to the chair, I said, "Go ahead, take one. Take one." The security guard picks me up after I sit there for like a minute after. He's like, come on, she ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? This is a white woman, but this is like trash. Like she don't live around here. You could tell she don't live around here. So the other white people was in the store. She thinks she impressing them and trying to fit in with them. You understand what I'm saying? But if you look at the caliber and the class of people that are just happen to be white in the area where I live at here in Connecticut, they're nothing like her. So that's how much she stuck out. She thought she could blend in, but she actually stuck out. So in the class of white people that's around here where I live at. So, and I'm not being facetious, I'm not being exaggerated, I'm telling you the truth. If you was right, you would understand quickly what I was saying. This was an unkept white woman. She looked dirty. She looked like her vajay smelled, and she was this big, like she was big. So anyway, she starts playing the role and she lies and said that I called her a white bitch. I said, "I ain't call you no white bitch." I said, "I called you a fat bitch." The white woman in front of me starts laughing, going into one of the fucking the white woman starts laughing because she knows what this woman is. She's like, what part of the trailer park did you leak out of? You understand? That's what it is here. Anyway, long story short, she folds into, after she saw that she couldn't get the Dominican guy to help her, she couldn't get the security guard to help. Like literally, security guards, they know me, so they just like, "Yo, this ain't you." So we know something's wrong here. She kept on continuing so much to the point where she got to this one point where she said, "He called me a white bitch." I said, "No, I called you a fat bitch." And everybody in the store heard me because I said it loud. So I got a deep voice. Ain't no way you can't hear me. So she turned around and she said, "I'm gonna call the police." I said, "Bitch, you I look like a drug dealer?" I said, "Call whoever the fuck you want to. Matter of fact, I'll sit here with you while you call the cops. How about that?" So boom. The security guard dude of the store, he tells me, he said, "Man, don't pay attention to that. Come on, let's go." He's a Latin brother too, so he's like, "Don't worry about this. Come on, go ahead, shop where you want to shop." At the same time, the store owner is coming around the corner, like they're the operations people, whatever. They're coming around the corner, and the dude, once again, he's an Albanian guy. He turns around and he says, "Sir, keep shopping. Don't worry about her. We're about to." So they kicked her out the store before I could have stayed in there. They kicked her out the store. So since she was mad, she tried to call the police on me. So like 5 police roll up on me or whatever. I'm cooler than a fucking fan. Nigga, I don't give a fuck. I already know I'm in the right. The cameras is there. Security is there. Like we good. So she gives this egregious story about, "Oh my God, I was in fear for my life," and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, "Yo, are you serious?" So I'm sitting there, and literally at one point, I'm joking with all 5 of the cops. They ain't got their guns on they ain't got their hands on their guns. They sitting there having their own conversation. They ain't worried about me. The other cop, he's a white cop. He's sitting there with all three of them were white, and one of them was a woman, and one of them was a black dude. The black dude was cool as fuck too. I want to give a shout out to him because he made sure, he said, even though I'm not in charge here, he said, I'm gonna make sure I get into it. So he was the one that told her, hey, can you run back the cameras? He comes back from the car. He says, everything that you're saying is matching up. He said, I just have to talk to my sergeant. He said, which I don't think is going to be a problem. You're out of here. Don't worry about it. I said, all right. And then I explained to him, I said, yo, listen, there's a system that's going on out here where these girls are out here and they're acting like men, jumping up in men's faces, threatening men. And that bitch really threatened me. She told me, I'm going to call myself. I said, call who the fuck you want to. It's going to be the last thing you see that motherfucker too. But anyway, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was glad they ain't served me. But that's another story. You know what I'm saying? I was glad that didn't happen. Long story short, I end up with the cops. They shook my hand. I shook their hands. You know what I'm saying? But I broke down to them. I said, there's a lot of women out here that are using the police as a shield. Now, I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. There are women out here online and offline that are starting arguments, fights, bickering, and everything else with men and women, but specifically with men. And then they turn around and they want to go tattletale. Like, for example, you say something that a girl don't like about you don't like about the behavior of certain women, or you don't like something in the behavior. Oh, we're going to go tell on him. Let's get him out of here. I'm going to tell the whole squad. I'm going to get them to all go against him. I'm going to do a podcast to talk about him. And I just heard three other vloggers say the same thing, like literally. Three other vloggers say the same thing. And two of them, one of them I don't even like. And I agree with them. You know what I'm saying? So you can get one person, and depending on their gender, and specifically, it looks like, because you can't get this with men, because like I told you, a lot of these men, they all been raised by women. So their adoration, empathy, inclusion, everything. Y'all might as well be, some of y'all boys might as well be one of the girls, to be honest with you, because you grew up with mama so tight that that's all you see. Women, women, women. These are also some of the men that you'll get in society that overly try to be men. You understand what I'm saying? Or their definition of what a man is ain't really what a man is. You understand what I'm saying? It's really this over ingratituous pussy who try to pretend like he's a man. You understand what I'm saying? It's a whole difference. So anyway, long story short, all that shit happened with me in the store. I left out the store. I ain't buy none of that shit in there. That was the point. See, I would have been a sucker if I sat in there on that same trip and bought the shit I had in my basket. I took the basket, I put that shit by the service desk and walked right out that bitch. And after that, that's when the cops stopped me or whatever. But I ain't buy none of that shit. And people say, oh, you wild. You ain't go get, no. It's all about dignity. See, this bitch had the audacity to argue with me or whatever. It was clear to see that this bitch was in the wrong. The cops could see she was in the wrong. The bitch is in there talking about she gonna call her son. You know what I'm saying? You about to be one short if you do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it is what it is. And I'm just like, you know what? This could happen to other men of color, but I want to talk about that Dominican kid because I saw him again. And I said, yo, fine, good looking. I told him in Spanish. I said, yo, good looking. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like I said, a lot of these men out here are very feminine. A lot of these men out here that y'all be listening to be trying to act like they so masculine or whatever. Those be the main motherfuckers that be talking the most, like this motherfucker in my chat room right now named Marius. Diddy likes bike seats with no seat. Kind of grown ass man say some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a nigga, you put him in the same situation Puff was, he'd be in fear. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get him up out of here. You know what I mean? But it's sucker niggas like that kid you just saw right there, and sucker bitches like that fat white chick that was at the motherfucking grocery store. It be shit like that just like, see, that shit could have turned ugly. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you what I mean. If the security wouldn't have been there, I would have stunned that bitch in the middle of the grocery store. Then after that, if she would have called son, then, you know what I'm saying, they would have had to maybe call, you know what I mean? You know, get that nigga, you know what I'm saying, a gurney or something. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like everybody would have lost. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would have lost. Yeah, man, you got to know how to move with people nowadays, so you end up killing one of these niggas, man. Like, for real, I'm being honest with you. It's self-defense. I ain't talking about initially just going out plotting, just getting, you know what I'm saying? I know that too, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about like, you can be in situations put in it by women and they could turn around wrong. Like I got a homie that's in jail. That's why I talk about shit like this. I got homies in jail, got 30 fucking years, bro, over a chick. You know what I'm saying? Coming back telling one of her sob stories. These niggas said I took money from. I ain't take no money from. Kind of fun. I just brought it took 10 grand from these niggas, bro. You understand what I'm saying? 10 grand. Hey, listen, this is what we're gonna do, y'all, real quick. I'm gonna restart this live or whatever because I don't like the turnout or whatever. Y'all think I should restart the live since I don't like the turnout because the turnout is low. Like I feel like if I was talking about something, go for an hour, and then I'll keep it going for like 2 hours. Yeah, I could do an hour 20 minutes. I know what I could talk about. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I was in here earlier, talking about that because I want to talk about these female podcasters. It's time that we have a sit down and talk about them. I'm gonna use her name. I know she might get mad if I use her name, but I got a whole counsel with you real quick, Huggy. So come on over. I know you somewhere hiding in the cut or something. Come on and rap at you with takes real quick, right? I told you about bitches, didn't I? Didn't I tell you? Now, how many of y'all remember, and I hope Ahmad L is still here. Ahmad L, do you remember me talking about, or anybody else is in here that's familiar with my podcast, do you remember me talking about the situation, and I'm going to say a name this time, with Maggie the Black Owl and Jaguar Wright? Do y'all remember that? And even though I done beef with Jaguar in the past or whatever, I ain't going to let a foreign entity take a hold of a motherfucker, whether you like her or not either. A couple of you other vloggers have seen the same thing and said the same thing. Whether you like Jaguar, don't like her, in between, in the middle of it or whatever, you saw the play. And so with that being said, right, it brings me to this. Now, I don't know if it's a play, it's an acting role, it's a screenplay. I don't know what it is. Trying to sort out, see who's who. I don't know, maybe it might be. But I say from my experience and from what I see, Maggie the Black Owl, you didn't had lives that almost consisted of 14, 15, 16 hours worth of content about Jaguar Wright, let alone you ain't know nothing about Jaguar Wright. You sat back and you've been saying recently, oh, well, I thought she, I heard you say it was pork chop. You was like, oh, I thought I got on that she wasn't telling the truth fully a minute ago and blah, blah, blah. Yet you continue to do lives with her name and titled in it. You understand what I'm saying? And I said here on my podcast before, I said, you think somebody gonna do you wrong? The person gonna do you wrong is that motherfucker right there. Now, let me tell you something I know about Haitian people. There's a lot of different types of Haitian people, right? But me being somebody that had a baby by a Haitian woman before, I know something. And I know there's certain, because I met her family, I've known other people that are around her that are Haitian, her Haitian family that is extended. I'm still friends with them, I'm still around them, and that's what this girl is. She's telling y'all she's French Canadian. She's not French Canadian. She's a Haiti. On compris? Oui, mademoiselle. A Haiti. Hein? Sans doigt. Fume beso on my gets my mouth. Now listen. This is from my heart. Shorty. No. Si span madame petite, si span la beau. You knew what you was doing. In fact, what led me to know you knew what you was doing because you said what your former profession was, and your former profession was to do what? To research. And that's why you're pretty good at it, because you did bank researching. You're no more different than a CPA to a certain extent, but you try to throw a ticket title on top of it. But you're pretty much a CPA corporately. Anyway, long story short, between auditing and things like that, I could assume were your job duties, and you saying how you ended up winning a lump sum of money because you found out a whole bunch of oddities and things like that within expenditure accounts within you were overseeing or either tasked with. And somehow or another, that came to adjudication, and somehow or another, there was a payout to you. Is that right? Okay. And that payout allowed you to sustain the lifestyle up until thus far up there in Canada. You understand what I'm saying? But with tariffs rising and rents raising for the past 5 years or whatever, it ain't so easy in Canada for abroad, is it? Nah, it ain't. Hard times call for hard measures. So you looked upon yourself and you said, you know what? I see this right here. And I can not only take this away from Captain Kangaroo Atwood, but I can add it to my arsenal, build my channel, or whatever the case may be. And then when the time is right, lead off. Now, I think I know why that's how you probably see it. One, when you get girls, we get girls like that in America too. But when you get the Mademoiselle en Haiti, when you get Haitian people, you get this type of Haitian person, and many Haitians are familiar with these type of people. You get this type of Haitian person, and Latinos are like this too. That'll go to college, they'll get literate, they'll become successful, mildly successful, whatever. And then they will want to integrate themselves into white society fully. Because they're now under the stinking pattern that all the intelligent people accept me. All the intelligent people, or all the boring people, or all the listening, they accept me. And then you start thinking that you're inclusive. You understand what I'm saying? What you don't start to pay attention to, and I peeped some slick shit you said about Captain Kangaroo Atwood too. You said Captain Kangaroo Atwood, he'll motherfucking interview anybody. That's what you said. You used to sit over there with Captain Kangaroo Atwood. So how you gonna say Captain Kangaroo Atwood will interview anybody when you was over there on the panel with him? So that means you'll interview anybody too. You was sitting with him. See how niggas be trying to remove themselves and rewalk stories and shit? Like, nah, nigga, you was there too. You was sitting right over there for years with Captain Kangaroo Atwood. For years. I beware the weasel kicker. Key, nigga, get a boyfriend. Live your life. Anyway, niggas ain't writing weird shit. It's the point. You know what I'm saying? She was sitting over there with him. You understand what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden they beefing. And the beef come from you saying some, you know, and I gotta say, this how you knew it was a play. And I told her, I said, look here, Huggy. And I said it, and I'm looking for it now so I can clip and put it up. And I'm just gonna make it so I can just share it with her so she'll see that if she never heard me say it, I said it twice. Now anybody was here heard me say this, heard me say that. I said, watch, in the end, the motherfucker that's gonna get you is that motherfucker. I can see it all in her face. She wants to integrate. I remember one time I got a clip of her saying, "Oh, I'm boring." So she was alluding. She did it twice. She did one time with a conversation with Jaguar. She did another time with a conversation with Murph, who used to be a former host, but like 3 or 4 other people subsequently, she got rid of them too. So you should have saw as she was getting rid of motherfuckers she knew longer than you. She ain't had no adoration towards nothing but oneself. You understand? Once again, I say, do females today lead in toxicity when it comes to these internet streets? That's what I want to know. You know, I watched Lisa Smells. Yeah, fuck it. Tisa Tells. I watched that bitch earlier today. This woman is so anti-black, but pretends to be pro-black. It's kind of similar to Magic the Black Out. She's not pro-black. I won't say she's necessarily anti-black, but she's definitely not pro-black. You understand what I'm saying? She's not pro-American. So anybody wants to go over there and sit with her and act like everything is everything. Like today when I heard you over there talking to Pork Chop, he's like, well, you know, I'm Canadian. See, the reason she keep telling y'all she Canadian instead of telling y'all she Haitian, because that's what she wants to be seen as, a French Canadian. But bitch, you ain't a French Canadian. You a Canadian that's of Haitian lineage that speaks French, but you ain't French Canadian. You understand what I'm saying? That's like comparison to like an African person coming over here, and I can see what people would say, or even myself coming over here and saying, okay, well, I'm African American. No, I'm African American and Cuban American. It's somebody that's African is going to say, yo, I'm African, and then I'm American. You understand what I'm saying? She's Haitian, and then you're Canadian. You're not French Canadian, ma. French Canadian is a lineage. Your lineage doesn't come from Canada. Not at least 3 generations back. Shit's crazy. So anyway, Lisa Smells. I'm gonna call her that. I hear other people calling her a liar, so I know I'm not wrong about that. I hear other people calling her a liar, so I would say my presumption is more lateral, leaning towards 100% when it comes to her. But with her, last night I saw her make a play, and she did it an hour into my life. So I said, ain't that ironic? I was just talking about Jonathan Major. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to Megan. You know what I'm saying? Tying the knot with each other. They got married, just to let y'all guys know. They got married. Yes, they did. And I'm going to talk about some other things in depth with them too, because, you know, I always hold down Jonathan. I'm always going to hold down Jonathan. It ain't going to change. You understand what I'm saying? There was recently a phone call that was released by Rolling Stone magazine. And it was an opportune time because Jonathan's movie actually gets released tomorrow. So that means one of them cocksucker motherfuckers over there, and you ain't just get it now either. And Rolling Stone, don't sit there and act like you innocent either, you bitch ass motherfuckers. That publication ain't been shit for the past 7 years. Say I'm lying. Go say I'm lying. That publication ain't been shit in the past 7 years because your mainstay was print. Don't nobody buy print no more. You understand what I'm saying? Who the fuck bought? What last time you bought a magazine? Somebody tell me in the chat room. When's the last time you bought a fucking magazine? Go ahead. I'll wait. Anybody? The way they used to make money was they made it off that fucking magazine. They have for years. They charged, I think it was like $7 for it. Some of these magazines, like King back in the day, they cost $10 damn near or whatever. They're making money off these magazines. They're not making money off the website. They're not making money off subscriptions based anymore. Why would I get a subscription base to a fucking magazine for free that for years I've been paying $7, $8, how many amount of dollars and a high amount of dollars for? And that makes no sense. So there's a need for these motherfuckers. Y'all be thinking some of these big companies, they're so solid. Nah, some of these niggas is on struggle mode right now. They in risk of getting acquired and acquisition by a bigger company. They on their last motherfucking bankruptcy. Y'all just don't know, man. So anyway, long story short, Rolling Stone decided to release the tape, and they said that they only got the tape. I guess we're supposed to believe you just got the tape yesterday, right? Somebody just sent it over. All right, so who the fuck strategically sent it over yesterday if you just got it yesterday? But if you had this shit weeks ago, that means you were sitting on it and you found out that Jonathan was coming out with something. You said, well, what was released the day before and sabotage them? See how they try to get niggas? Y'all don't even see the play. What did Lisa Smells do? Fuck it. What did Tisa Tells do? This dumb ass puppet bitch. This bitch is a puppet. This puppet bitch goes over to her shit. Don't even analyze the shit in the mind. That's why I said this bitch is an airhead. If you was a smart bitch, you play it right. Bitch, there's a whole bunch of stories out here you could be telling. You understand what I'm saying? That would keep you as live, if not even more live than what you are. And for the amount of followers you got 500,000 followers, and your shit averaged something like 40,000 views, 15,000 views. Ain't nobody watching that bullshit. Like, it would be common sense at this point to say to yourself, hey, maybe I need to switch shit up. You understand? But this bitch, y'all always talking about black love and everything like that. And I do disrespect her because she gets on there disrespecting kids. She disrespected Puff's 3-year-old kid. And I'm never, ever going to forget about that. Nigga, get the fuck up out of here. You're a disruptor. Go do what you do best. Go tap dance. Anyway, I'm never going to change the factor of this. I don't like the fact that Shorty gets on and she feel like she got to be the most vicious at everybody. That shit is I don't know. That's some mental issue shit. I don't like the way she went at Puff. I don't like the way she went at Jay-Z. And every time you're incorrect. So today she had, and I'm going to show you what I mean. The other day I told y'all, I showed y'all her videography or whatever. I said, yo, y'all look at Lisa Smell shit and y'all listen to him. And y'all tell me which one of her motherfucking predictions came true. None. That's who. None. Now go back and listen to my videos and listen how what I say in sequential order and watch how everything I say do come true. This bitch don't know nobody in the music industry. Factory, like this fact on fact. She equates everything in life by views and numbers. How many people in the chat? How many people push it? Like, this is how she, like a lot of these, like, syndrome fucking robotic Android iOS motherfuckers do. They equate everything in life to likes and views. This is an older woman. Tisa Tells is not 25 fucking years old. She's not 18 fucking years old, but she talks like a 16-year-old and carries herself like a 16-year-old. And she's, oh my God, that fucking annoying voice. Oh my God, that fucking annoying voice. It's enough to make your ass itch, I swear to God. But anyway, this fucking bitch, she gets on there and her dumb ass sits there and synergizes this shit that Rolling Stone put out. Not because it was a woman. She doesn't care about no white women. She don't give a fuck about no white women. You think she care about white women? She don't care about no fucking white women. This is a woman of color. She don't give a fuck about no white women. If there's a white woman in here, listen to me very carefully. I've dated many of Italian girls, Greek girls, whatever. I'm trying to tell you. Probably at a 60% range. Most African American and Latin girls, they do not like you. They will grin and smile with you or whatever, whatever. Please believe that these bitches, 60% of them got an ulterior motive. You understand what I'm saying? They're either trying to get one of your men, they either try to see what you got, they either using you for your car. It's something behind it. Trust me when I tell you this. You know what I'm saying? There's some like that 60% that I'm talking about is amongst the thirsty bitches. The other 40%, they'll go get it. You see what I'm saying? So back to Alicia Smells. As I said before, and if you have time, trying to figure it out, Jonathan Major just recently got married. I want to give a shout. That's why I kind of smiled. I was going to do it last night. I said, nah, let me wait. Because it's going to really fuck up. And it really did. But anyway, last night, she wanted to talk about this, what's the name that got released about fucking Jonathan Major seemingly admitting whatever, that he did something to the chick or whatever. What it sounded like to me was, because he said in the video, what's up, Elder? He also said in the video this. He said, yo, and I want to add this to it. She didn't even know if they had an analysis of whether this was AI or whatever the fuck else it may be. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't have any analysis of that, but she made a conclusion. And she based this conclusion not on evidence. She based this conclusion on the fact that that man's skin color. This is why I try to tell y'all, there's a whole bunch of KKK and white nationalists, you understand what I'm saying, that are within the black female gender nowadays. And they're online. And these women have like this thirst, it's almost, to see you fall. They'll use little quandaries. I caught a bitch saying this shit the other day. She was like, yeah, he got a little too big for his britches. That's what they'll use. Don't that sound like some plantation shit? That sounds like some plantation shit, right? He got a little too big for his britches. We got to bring him a little bit down. Why would you want to bring your own man down, but at the same time talk about you want a man to make 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300? No, you should be seeing everything in your motherfucking power to see that these niggas make it. You understand? And the same way you use your same example about Kanye West, which I'm going to play in a minute. Let me give you an example of how this bitch talks, so y'all don't think I'm exaggerating here. You understand what I'm saying? Because niggas be thinking I'm exaggerating. I got some other stories to read y'all too, but I want to read y'all this. I want to let y'all hear this so y'all know I ain't exaggerating. Because if you thinking you exaggerate, no, I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you what's going on here. I'm telling you what's going on here. These bloggers, they be lying, dog. Lying, exaggerating stories. I want y'all to hear what she said about Kanye. Now check this out.
Do you not know that you are black? And in that hierarchy, Kim, because Romanians apparently have been admitted into the racist.
All right, first of all, Kim is not Romanian. Kim Kardashian is not Romanian. Does anybody know what Kim Kardashian is? Huh? She's not Romanian. What is Kim Kardashian's ethnicity? Can somebody write in the chat room? Any of y'all, nobody knows what Kim Kardashian's ethnicity is? Huh? Nobody? It ain't Romanian. What is it, y'all? Huh? Anybody? Nobody. Oh man, I thought we had some smart people in today. We just got weirdos in here right now. It's all good. It's all good. We got weirdos in here right now. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, y'all, because this is the weirdo batch, and I don't talk to these weirdo ass niggas. And we got some other nigga in here writing Trump is better. We ain't even talking about Trump. Talking about a little like existential. So let me do something real quick. I'm gonna be live with y'all later. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here.